Hello, 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 and welcome back to Roger Williams Park Zoo. We are on episode 29 of the series. I am joined today with San.
Hey guys.
So San was in our very first World of Adaptations episode, and this was actually recorded live on my Twitch, and probably will be the last recorded Twitch stream that I ever do since I've now switched to YouTube. So the people who have been, watching my live streams, I put a poll out, everyone wanted me on YouTube, so this is probably going to be the last Twitch stream available, so I am now on YouTube, if you were wondering that. But as you can see, we are working on the Binturong, and this is going to be a Creative Liberty episode, as well as the next episode with the Barbarossa, for the simple reason of the space I had was very off, because when I first did On Top Replica, back in the very first episode, I traced over the map of the zoo and not the Google images, and then little changes to the map over the course of the series, like in Asia and stuff, basically just pushed this area, which is the center of the zoo, to be such a small area that it's right next to the harbor seals, which just isn't accurate. So I should warn that no, Roger Williams does not have a cool little cavern system behind their Binturongs right below the harbor seal. That is not accurate. So like I said, I apologize, but these next two episodes are probably going to be the only episodes that are like not 100% accurate, but I definitely tried my best to get it accurate.
It at least captures the spirit of Roger Williams rather than like, is it 100% recreation? Because in order for there to be 100% recreation, you need something like, of course, like actual site plans and architectural plans, which I doubt like any architectural firms would be willing to just hand out willy-nilly.
Well, and the other issue, it's not even really so much as architecture, because architecture you can kind of recreate pretty easily. The big thing is On Top Replica can give you a top-down look at a zoo or a park or whatever you're trying to recreate, but you can't get the elevation levels. So that's sort of something that like I was estimating and stuff. So as an example, like I actually went to the zoo recently, literally yesterday, as of the time I'm recording this. And I was noticing that by the harbor seals, technically the farmyard and stuff is actually higher up than the harbor seals and stuff, which means that when I was just designing the park from the base, situation, I just kind of assumed that the elevations weren't nearly as high as they actually are, but turns out they're very, very tall. So stuff like the gift shop and stuff is a lot higher up than I initially thought. And so like that area is also gonna kind of be a little bit weird because I have like this hill going up and then down. But again, these are just the little creative liberties that you have to take when you're trying to do a recreation like this. And so if you have a zoo that is relatively flat where you are, then you might have an easier time recreating it. But New England is very hilly, so I guess I can start talking about the actual habitat. So the Binturong habitat is very similar to the red panda habitat over in the Marco Polo Trail. Surprise, surprise, because they're basically very similar animals, and literally I used the red panda, of course, as the base for the Binturong. I kind of took a page out of Zoo Tycoon 3 where I literally just kind of retextured the red panda because they're so similar looking. Other than the fact that one's black and one's reddish.
I'm pretty sure they're like in the same family. I'm gonna double check.
I think they're not actually. I think they're not related. It's just like a case of convergent evolution and stuff where they just happen to look alike, even though they have nothing really in common. Because I think red pandas and stuff are in their like own kind of family and stuff.
Yeah, red pandas are an Ailuridae. They are in the family Ailuridae, and the Binturong is in Viveridae.
Yeah, because I was gonna say I think they're actually like, close to like civets and stuff.
Binturongs are really close to like civets and all that.
Yeah, exactly. So and that's the thing is we could address the common facts about Binturongs for those who aren't familiar with them. They smell like popcorn. That's the big thing.
Yeah.
So I was debating, because we know we're getting an Asia DLC, or presumably an Asia DLC, because of the Sun Bear League. So I think a Binturong is a likely candidate to be put in here. I think Barbarossa is a very likely candidate, but Binturong is a pretty likely one. And I was making the joke, like, how you can't really, make them super unique from red pandas, other than the fact that they're black and have, kind of like the popcorn smell. So I was making the joke that since Frontier usually gives out like stuffed animals for each DLC to a lot of content creators, they're gonna give them a like smell-o-vision, like scented plushie of a Binturong to like go along with the DLC or something.
And if you need to refresh the smell, just toss it in the microwave with some popcorn.
Yeah, there you go.
That's another way to charge your iPhone, folks. Just toss it in your microwave.
Because it's funny, because these are the only Binturongs I believe in New England. Southwick's had them for literally like a month, and then they got rid of them. I don't know why. They just had them in like a very small cage, like kind of like a bird aviary, and just it was there for like a couple of months, and then they went, who cares? And then so now Roger Williams is once again the only holder in New England. So, and I do like their habitat, because I'll talk about it a little bit later. But their habitat has gone through a lot of changes over the course of the zoo. Because when I was there when they actually first released the Binturongs into the zoo, because this habitat used to belong to prairie dogs. So you'll actually see me probably in a few minutes. I had these little like spheres in the ground, which are supposed to be like little prairie dog peepholes that you were able to like go in as a kid under the tunnel, under the habitat, by the staircase that I placed down earlier. And you were able to, I'm literally placing them now. And you're able to like just kind of peek your head out and look at the prairie dogs at the time, then Binturongs. And before they had this whole climbing frame, they actually had a big tree in the center. And the day they put it in, the Binturong literally came out, climbed the tree, climbed on a long branch that went over the top of the glass, and literally escaped and started running down over by where the river otters are right now. And so the keepers literally had to pick it up and put it back in the thing, and then they had to grab a bunch of chainsaws and start chopping away at the actual habitat, or the tree branches and stuff, just because they were like literally just too long, and so they kept escaping. So that's why they've eventually just replaced it with this climbing frame, which is very similar to the red pandas. A thing that was actually interesting is what I'm doing right now is using the India set to actually create like the kind of wall decals. And if you look at the images that like are in the background, I was able to like really recreate it really well with the pieces that like on stream I was getting like all excited and stuff, because I was like, oh my god, I don't have to do like murals or anything. I can literally just use these actual dyeable pieces, and they have everything that I need. And so like I was super excited about that. But that pretty much takes up the overall Barbarossa Binturong habitat. And so now we are getting on to me finishing the conservation corner, which is across from the education center, and I was working on it a little bit in last episode and the previous episode. But I actually got the last 4 posters in. So I want to thank Shenanigan and Wyzer, who is kind of the OG pixel artist, because he actually was the one that made the template that I use to make these posters, and they helped me out. They made these last 4 posters for me, and I'm super appreciative, because it basically took this zoo to like a new level of realism and stuff, where like I don't think any other creator would put this attention to detail in it. But now I sort of have this inconsistency within my own park, where now I kind of have, now that I've done these posters, I need to do like other stuff throughout the rest of the park to make it also super accurate. But we'll see. But I kind of like this, because it just makes it a little bit more realistic, kind of to make to almost make up for the creative liberties I took with the Binturong and Barbarossa, of course. Mm-hmm. But I'm basically just using I think for this one references I was using Street View on one monitor, and then I was literally trying to recreate this kind of like siding and stuff, which is sort of a backstage area. You're not really supposed to look at it, but it's basically just a lot of like office space, and like I believe it's actually where the kitchen is for the World of Adaptation's animals. I believe it's located in this building, and so they actually have like it's kind of like a multi-purpose facility that has like a lot of uses and stuff. I've never been inside of it. I have no idea what's realistically in there other than a bathroom, which I found hilarious because when I went to the zoo yesterday, outside of the gift shop, they had nearest bathroom 16 minutes away, be warned. And then I was like, what are you talking about? There's literally like 9 bathrooms around here.
16 minutes away, be warned. That's
well, they said
one of the most ominous signs out there.
Well, literally, as this was right in front of the gift shop, which is the big menagerie building, and so there's a bathroom right in there, like literally immediately as you enter the gift shop. There's a bathroom. There's another one in the education center, another one in the conservation corner, another one in Face of the Rainforest, and another one over by the restaurant across the way from the gift shop. So I was like, what are they talking about? There's bathrooms literally littered everywhere. This is a good example where I was basically recreating some of the wall signs and stuff. And then I did this one live on stream, and this was far before I was able to actually find my new favorite block in the game, or a decoration piece in the game, which is the 2D font Noto full stop, which is basically the period, the 2D period, because I was actually able to, off camera, recreate super detailed stuff using this new piece, because it's A flat, so it's kind of the plus of why we use brackets and stuff for these little details. I'm using grass and stuff right now. But originally on stream, you can see me here, I'm struggling because I'm using small primitive pieces to basically try to make a little frog. And I was able to make a much better looking frog using those 2D full stops afterward. But I still don't think this is terrible. A lot of people were making fun of me because obviously
it looks pretty passable.
Well, it looks like
2000s mascot, kind of like Bonzi Buddy or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. It obviously looks disgusting because it's a bunch of spheres and stuff. When you shove it in, it's okay, that's. I don't blame you.
Cool.
That's okay. You're limited with your pieces and stuff. And then this is these posters and stuff that I'm recreating. We're using my reference images from either it was a mixture of Google Earth and my summerish photos of the zoo. And I checked yesterday. Obviously it's now winter again. They've taken a lot of these posters down entirely. The door with the frog is still there, but the other posters I'm working on are no longer there, unfortunately. But basically, it's kind of a this main billboard is to kind of highlight the zoo's 2 insect projects, which are they have a butterfly project and the American burying beetle, which is
that's what I was gonna ask what that was.
Yeah, so it's a very minimalistic version of an American burying beetle. But the American burying beetle, as I remember it, is the only endangered insect species, and it is only found in Rhode Island, amazingly. I don't know why. It's specifically found on Block Island, which is technically an island off the coast of Rhode Island, but it is the only endangered insect species. And yeah, and so the zoo really loves doing this project and stuff. I was part of it when I was a kid back in middle school, and yeah, it's basically just to kind of help conserve the breeding population in Block Island, because again, they're only found here. What I'm working on now, I'm just working on, it looks like a Minecraft character or something. There's a little poster with a dude or whatever and a recycling thing. So I made, once again, a very minimalistic version of a person out of primitive pieces, just to kind of get the shape right.
Does the zoo still have burying beetles on display, or did they take them off display?
Unfortunately, they're off display now. They removed them with the Tropical America, the original Tropical America building demolition. We had a small insectarium. Is that what you call it?
Yeah, an insectarium.
Yeah, we had one right outside of the anteater habitat, but they obviously demolished that when the Face of the Rainforest went up. So we kind of lost all of our insect species. We used to have stuff like axolotls and stuff in there as well, and they got rid of all of it to make room for, I guess where it is now is technically the new flamingo habitat. But, you know, it's one of those things
Yeah.
where I understand why they had to get rid of it, just because they were trying to go for, like, this big open plaza. But
Yeah.
that
I mean,
pretty much
that's-
takes us to the end. Sorry, I had to cut you off.
Oh yeah, no worries.
But yeah, because basically the last thing I'm just doing here is a couple more posters and stuff. But that is the episode. Next episode we will be doing the dreaded Barbarossa episode, where my lovely girlfriend is going to rip those little pigs into shreds, because like she
Rip those
really
pigs into bacon?
despises. Oh yeah, she despises Barbarossa to no end.
AKA the suicide pigs.
Yeah, so that should be a fun episode. So thank you guys for watching and enjoy the Binturong mod. By the time you watch this, it should probably be available on Nexus for you to download. So thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.
See you guys.